Warning, flashing lights ahead. Those with sensitivity, please be advised.
What's up, everybody? Welcome, everyone, to the Global Ghost Hunt October 2024 halftime show. I am one of your hosts, Matt, paranormal consultant. With me is the always lovely, the GGH. What do we say? GGH metaphysical consultant. Brian, that's patented. That's trademark. That's happening.
That's it. Done.
The always awesome Glenda Dawson. Glenda, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Oh, we've got a fun show tonight. We got a fun halftime show. But, you know, before we get into our guest tonight, I can't believe we're following Rootless.
Wow.
Oh, that was an amazing investigation. I see them in the chat already. I love Rootless. I just want to say that first and foremost. They always do an amazing job and never disappoint. Melissa, stunning. Great job.
Yep. And that was a great location. That tree with the elementals. I mean, that energy. Woof.
Oh, on the K2 going off right there.
I know. It's like amazing.
Oh, so much fun. So much fun. And we'll get into that more here in a little bit. But we have some special guests tonight. Let's first start off with everybody. If you watch the intro, you know who they are. We have two individuals who have literally watched, I think, every investigation of the Global Ghost Hunt. Not just this year or in this little session, but all of them, all the events. Right. And that is, of course, Abyss Paranormal. We're going to start off with somebody first, and it's not who you probably think it is. She's been in chat a lot and has seen a lot and is a huge supporter of the Global Ghost Hunt. Let's welcome Liz from Abyss Paranormal. What's up, Liz?
Hi, Liz.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And along with Liz, we have another special guest, and we'll get into why. On top of the already numerous reasons why she's so special, we have another special reason, and that is none other than Vicky. Vicky, welcome.
Hi, Vicky.
Hello.
She knows what's coming. That's why.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
She's afraid of us.
Yes. And somebody popped in. Somebody before the show wanted to jump on in, and I can't say no to her. I can't. And if you've seen me, and you've seen our investigate, you know who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the halftime show, the Wicked Queen.
Hi.
So, folks, I am outnumbered tonight, so I have to behave myself.
Oh, come on. You could never behave yourself.
This is very true. Although the Wicked Queen does have a lot over there that she could throw at me.
I know, but she'll let you get in trouble. She'll give you enough rope to get you in trouble with everybody else.
Brian said yesterday that I wasn't allowed to be on a halftime show.
Uh-oh.
But I'm here.
And for those of you wondering where Mr. is, huge congratulations to him. He is actually filming for a brand new role. I'm sure he'll announce it when he's ready. But huge congratulations to him. He is filming at the moment. He said he will be joining if he can.
Now, he'll be watching.
Yeah, he'll definitely be watching. He said on his way home. He said he always puts the investigations on his Bluetooth and all that good stuff. But before we get into the investigations, we have a very, 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 very special announcement. For those of you who don't know, a huge happy birthday to Vicky. She is turning 21 again.
Oh, yes.
Numerous anniversaries of the 21st birthday.
Yes.
So
No, I'm 64, guys. I'm 64. I remember every day of that. Okay.
you and your lying, Vicky. I don't.
Yeah.
But huge happy birthday to you, Vicky. Nothing but love.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a good day. I've had a good day.
Good. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. So if we can all please get some hearts in chat for Vicky for her birthday. Yes. Huge. Now, I really wanted to bring you two on, Liz and Vicky. What was that?
I don't know.
Your warning somewhere, or I think is that real?
I'm looking at him. It's not him.
Well, first of all, I just want to say on behalf of the admin staff of Abyss, you guys are awesome. You guys have supported everything from the Global Ghost Hunt, and we're ending our second year, as most of you know. We're halfway through this event, and I couldn't think of anybody else better to bring up on this show than you two. You guys have supported us the entire way, so thank you very much for all of that.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm
no problem.
Excited. I've enjoyed every investigation. This is the fourth one, the fourth season, I guess you could say.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of like in spring and in the fall, that's when they happen. So.
Absolutely. And you guys, and just for you guys who don't know at home, Abyss was one of those teams that, and I'll be honest, I knew Vicky. I love Vicky from my show. I didn't see much of the investigation side of Abyss. You guys did not disappoint your very first investigation, and you really came out. And I've been thoroughly impressed with every one of your investigations. You guys do awesome job. So huge shout out to you guys. I highly suggest everyone go back and check out Abyss Paranormal. And speaking of Abyss, let's start off with you guys. You guys started off this event at the historic morgue Airbnb. First of all, an Airbnb that's a morgue. How does that work?
Well, historically it was a morgue, and somebody bought it and turned it into an Airbnb. But it was, what was it, Vicky? Probably a year and a half ago or something like that. I had seen on Facebook that it was being remodeled at the time, and I was like, "Oh my god, we got to try this," But like I said, it was being remodeled, and then when GGH came up, she checked into it. Actually, Vicky did, and she was like, "Oh, it's there, it's available," And so that's when we decided to do this, and it was really just a cool place. I mean, the video you guys saw doesn't do it justice. It literally had amazing work done in it. Like the walls were turned into what am I looking for? Like display cases that had like embalming fluids with body parts in them. Okay. Now I don't know if they were real or nothing like that.
I don't think they were. At least I hope they were.
And now here I'm saying, "Oh, wouldn't that be cool if they're real?"
Yes, actually, if I remember right, at the end when Ruben's doing the walkthrough, he shows them what we were just saying. He pulls back a curtain and he said, "Vicky thinks that this is where they used to store some bodies." And because it looked like it could have had the slide-in shelves,
right?
Yeah.
Going into it, but back into it, it had jars with what was supposed to be body parts in it. So I'm thinking they seen it. That what you just said is what I'm trying to say is in the video. If they watch it, they'd see. But I hope to God they weren't real. That's all.
I hope they were.
Right.
That means that it's a piece of history there saved.
And that's how I feel about it. You know, I mean, what if it was really something from back when they did the embalming?
Exactly.
And but the way they set it up though was really amazing though. Like the pieces that they were able to preserve and use again, and like at the end of the bed there was, what did we call that, a cold table or
Cooling table. Yeah.
We got activity on that, and I don't even know if it's really featured well in the video, but we did get evidence on that, and we didn't realize what it was. But Andrea and I were in the living room, and we heard this like a pop sound, and we were like, "Well, that's, you know, that doesn't make any sense because nobody's moving. It's just me and her, and she's sitting, and I am standing behind her." But it came from behind me, which was the bed and the cooling table. And so I had to try to recreate the noise, and it wasn't the bed, but it was the cooling table. I just leaned just a little pressure on it, and then it like did the same pop sound. And I'm like, oh my God, somebody's on the cooling table.
Literally, she said that.
You know, there is one thing I noticed that you do a lot differently than other teams. There's one particular technique, and I wanted to ask you guys about this, and that's the coin. You do the divination with the coin. Who started that? And can you, for those who don't know about it, can you kind of explain a little bit on how that works?
Well, we refer to it as the yes and no coin. And straight up, I think you've heard of her, Matt, at least, and I think Wicked Queen has too. Shaw Woman.
Oh,
Her
yeah.
name is Dina.
Dina
lives 3 hours from me. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she gifted the coin and a pendulum and a Polaroid camera, an old Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
To us. And that's how we got the coin. And we started using it actually in the very first GGH.
Oh, wow.
It was Gage was used it for the first time up on the Meteor at Windyville.
Yep, I remember.
And we always like to use it against another piece of equipment to see if we get the same answers. Either we use the K2. Liz tried to use the pendulum this last time with it, but we see how many times the answer is the same. And
we literally document it so we can compare.
So we can see, you know, how this is working out. Ruben, you can even hear him say at one time, and I think it was at this last investigation, you hear him, he says, that's been the same answer and you should have at least gotten a different answer once in the last 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we could see a discrepancy that the coin wasn't doing, if it wasn't working right, you know, wasn't doing what we was wanting it to do, that it wasn't doing it. So he acknowledged that. So, but yeah, it's just something we like to do, you know, and we do a lot of doubling up on the equipment. I love to use the rods in the spirit box at the same time. That it works out really well. I don't know, Liz, what is it you think, you know? Now I know Liz, even when she does analysis of the coin, when it's being used, she will write down different things on it. And so we have that knowledge and to be able to compare it to. But yeah, but no, we got that from Dina. Is who we got that from.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So my viewpoint on the coin is and as everybody should already know by now, I'm more cynical of just about everything. And in my eyes, I see the coin as just a 50-50 shot. It will either land on yes or no. But I do look at it as an experiment. Let's just see if we can get the legitimacy behind it. Let's see if we can't get it backed up with the other equipment to verify this is for real tools everybody could use or not. I'm the same way, though, about the dowsing rods. I'm the same way about the pendulum. Anything that is not that can be easily manipulated, it's just, I don't put a lot of validity into it until I see a reason to say, oh, for sure, that's it. And if you see in the Global Ghost Hunt video, I was doing the pendulum. If I couldn't get a for sure answer of what their yes or what their no is, then we're just not going to do that, because it's too much. It's too
it causes everything to be iffy. That's how I look at it.
Too
suggestive.
Yes.
Too suggestive.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Glenda, Wicked Queen, if you guys have any questions for Abyss or anybody in the audience, by all means, ask away. That is one of the reasons why they're here. So, Glenda, do you have anything for our two guests?
Well, what did you guys experience that we didn't see, if there's anything?
Ruben being touched.
Okay, yeah. It happened at the very first set of when Jesse and I was sitting on the couch and Ruben's on the camera. And I hear a noise during this period of time also. I'll finish up with that in a minute. But he didn't say anything at the time. After we was done filming that part, he comes out and he says, I think I was touched in there. And I was like, you should have said something, so we could have done something. He said, well, I wasn't sure, but what made him think that he had been was at first he felt it on his hand, and he thought it was the lens cap from the camera. So he took the lens cap, and when he did, he felt it again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And so the reason he felt it again made him think, okay, he couldn't see anything, and he eliminated the possibility.
Right.
And at that time, if I remember correctly, I was asking with the rods, is there a male standing behind me? I believe there's a male standing behind me. And he would have been Ruben. I was sitting here. Let's put it this way. I'm trying to do it where you guys can see it. Ruben was sitting this way, and the person was behind me. So in a sense, it wouldn't have been much for the person behind me or the spirit behind me to have reached over and brushed Ruben.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And the funny thing is when he stood up after we was recording, he was sitting on a cat ball. The whole time, and did not know that he was sitting on a cat ball.
But I do want to point out one thing about the cat ball, though. So, you know how I am about all of it, the whole thing. He wasn't moving, though. If you look in the static camera, he is absolutely still, and his legs not moving or nothing. And the cat ball is technically sitting next to him, up against his leg. It keeps going off during this time, but he's not moving. And I'm like, the cat ball is going off, and then it'll stop. And then he'll look, you can see him, kind of like whatever. And then nothing happens. And then the cat ball goes off again, and it stop again. And it was just like, okay, so either this dude is letting gas out and not telling anybody, or somebody's trying to play with his booty.
Trust me, if you had have been, we all would have said, grab the gas mask. No.
I've been guilty of that. So, Wicked Queen, do you have anything?
Ruben. I'm just saying, we love Ruben. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah.
I think Ruben does put in a certain comedy thing, and he's very grounded. I really love that about him and how he investigates. And huge props to you, Ruben. I know you're in the room. Huge shout out to the camera quality too. It's not all over the place. That I do feel like I can watch in VR.
Yeah.
Wicked Queen, do you have anything for Abyss? You have any questions?
No.
Fair enough. I love it.
I'm just here.
She's here for emotional support.
I'm the emotional support witch.
There you go. Ooh, I like that. I smell new merch. I smell new merch. So Carla is asking you guys, have you guys tried using the stuffed bear that lights up? So I'm assuming Boo Bear. I've seen other investigators use it, and it's amazing. Has Abyss tried this?
We haven't tried that specific No.
We have Investigator though.
There you go.
That's our creation. Ruben and I concocted this thing called Investigator. I think he introduced it in the Windyville investigation. It is very similar to the Boo Bear, but we wanted our own spin on it because, again, we're so analytical. We wanted the readings from it to be recorded, and it also tracks like any energy movement through the building or wherever we're at. So, for instance, like if there's a Wi-Fi signal or a car passing by that produces the Wi-Fi, we can actually record that and be able to dismiss it in the cameras going, oh, look, there goes the headlights. So we know that was, something like that. But it also picks up like motion, and it picks up temperature fluctuations, all kinds of things. And so we use that to record so that we can have a scientific basis for any of our findings.
I love that.
I do too. I do too. I think the
readings go into a certain section of the computer, and we see it on the screen.
That is, and I think you guys showed that towards the end of the investigation.
Yeah, when Ruben does the walkthrough at the very end. Yeah,
yeah, that's really cool. I think you guys have something that you might want to market. Just saying, that's pretty cool. I know
it has so many bugs though, and we're still, it's not optimal right now. It's not where we want it to be, but I do want to say patent pending, everyone, for my Investigator.
Yes. Very good, very good.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Well, I saw Raymond Newsom popped in. What's up, Raymond? How you doing tonight? And I see a lot of people are in the room. Thank you all so much for joining us. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Not just for our sake, but for all the teams and all the event. Because we've had a lot of really great teams. And of course with Abyss and a lot of others. And let's talk about the next one. Right after, the next day, we had the lovely ladies from Rootless.
Yes.
Rootless Destinations at the 1899 Bolton House.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I said this before, and I know I said it in the video of the investigation prior to this show. They never disappoint. They're to me, you guys are equally impressive in my eyes. You and Rootless, always an amazing investigation with Melissa. And the Bolton House to me had so much history, and some of the responses that Melissa and her team were getting were just phenomenal. I won't talk too much because I know I can do that, but ladies, what was some of your favorite parts of that investigation?
I'll be honest. I'm going to say it because I've already been hounding Vicky about it. I never thought of myself as somebody who could. Glenda, you helped me that night. You should just know that.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, honestly, I've always thought of myself as an empathetic person, not necessarily an empath. Or any of the sort, not like Vicky. Vicky is a whole nother level. And I am very skeptical about that sort of thing anyway, Right. But that night I was on flipping fire. And
you were.
She was like, oh my God.
Like, how am I doing this? And Vicky, she told me, she was like, it's just a matter of being able to tune into it. She's like, it's probably just an ability you do have. You don't realize you have it. But that night, every time they would turn the corner or something, I'm like, no, wait, let's go back. I couldn't express myself well enough to sit there and go, no, in that corner, there is a woman there. I know,
She had a thing for that one room. One room they go into.
And I think, Liz, you and I were going back and forth about the room up the hallway at one point because they kept panning over to the hallway. And I was like, it's that room. Go to that room. And I don't have any type of abilities or gifts, but I think you and I are on the same page.
Well, when you said, Matt, she's standing at the end of that hallway there. To me, and I think I even put it in chat, she's standing to the right at the end of the hall. I've seen a female standing to the right at the end of the hall, and then you were saying it's down that hall, and something about the room there, and that I was like, I seen her standing there to the right. at the end of the hall. So
Yeah, it's that pull. You just feel that pull. It's like a rope coming at, and going, come here, come here, come here, come here.
And it was just sadness. That's all I got. It's just like a darkness standing there, not, evil, but just darkness. Like when you have dreams, interpreting dreams, if you have a dream that's not of color, but is of grays and, mute shadow colors or whatever, is usually a sign of depression or a sad time or something of the sort. So that's kind of what I was seeing, but it definitely was a woman. She was just dark. She was just gray.
She was very sad.
Very sad. Yeah.
Well, Melissa's in chat right now. She's under Rootless Destinations on the YouTube side. She's saying that was the servant quarters.
Yes.
Now, see, for me,
outside servant.
See,
outside the servant quarters.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know what it was. Like again, I don't have any of the gifts that you guys do, but my attention was just drawn. Like I'm watching as I've been doing for all of the Global Ghost Hunt. I watch it all, and just something just caught my attention about that hallway, and that door frame. I don't know what it was, but I go with you guys. If you guys say you feel something,
if I remember right, they had a grid facing down the hallway. Didn't they?
They did.
So to specify where I was seeing it, though, after panning more, I think Chris was his name, the guy who was reading the questions out or something like that. He had stopped in the hallway at the top of the stairs. If you looked straight ahead of him, it was more like a landing, and they had like a shelf sitting up against the wall. That is literally where I was feeling that she was. She was over there in that landing, just standing there. That's where I felt her. It wasn't necessarily a room, but man, that one room, that was nuts.
Yeah. And that's what she said.
Couldn't even type fast enough.
I was sitting here like I'm so used to on like StreamYard or Restream or whatever I'm on to just go right to like this chat. Yeah. But I had the YouTube side set up, and I was almost commented as Global Ghost Hunt. I'm like, wait, no, over here. I got to go over here, and I'm just going to town, just trying to type. But no. And one thing I have to give Melissa and her team a huge shout out is they absolutely kill, no pun intended, the Estes method. Yes. They do so well with it. And if any of these newer teams out there want to learn the Estes method, definitely check out Rootless. Nothing against anybody else, but the way they do it, you can just hear the passion. They take out pretty much any way that you can discredit it, and they're validating themselves right then and there. So huge shout out to them. Moving on, because I know we could probably just sit here all night long and talk about Abyss and Rootless, but we got a couple people to get through. So the next day on the 19th, we had, for the first time ever, as Brian calls it, the event within the event. We had 3 teams from all over the world investigating at the exact same time. We had, of course, the Ghoul Gang, who was over in the UK doing the Jack Ripper Museum. That was a huge surprise to me. I was excited when I heard that. Yes. You had Brian, who was supposed to be at the abandoned church, but the abandoned church was closed. The abandoned church abandoned him, so he went to Bailey's Bridge. I have to say, on a side note, I loved when he was like, I didn't realize it was this far of a walk. And you could hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel that, Brian. I feel that. And then you had myself, the Wicked Queen, right below me. And in the chat, we have Felicia. I said in the Rootless, she's somewhat brand new to the field. She's learning how to be an empath. She was actually out with us. She was taking care of our camera. And we were at St. Mary's Cemetery in Coltmont here in Pennsylvania. And I know Glenda knows Coltmont very well. And we were all on at the exact same time. Yes. Before we, because I want to hear from the Wicked Queen about that night. But before I do, Abyss, what did you guys think of the event within the event as a whole? How did you guys see that from the outside in?
I actually thought that's what Global Ghost Hunt was when it was first introduced to me. I thought that was the whole idea behind it, was a crap ton of teams. We're all going to be investigating around the world at the same time. And I was like, ooh, the chaos. And I think that night, and please don't take this offensively, but I mean, maybe as you know, it did give us a glimpse into just how chaotic it could be, though, behind the
Mhm.
scenes too. We had a lot
Yes.
of
One
overlap of
little
the
thing is
sounds,
a trickle
and
down effect too.
it
Yeah.
was kind of confusing, yes.
Mhm.
But I think it's a good learning method for anything in the future. Personally, you know, we know now that maybe we should shut sound off one, go to the next, so on and so forth. You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
and announce that we're doing that, so that for some of us who might go this way for a second and come back, like, where are we looking at now? Where, you know?
Well, see, that's why I wanted to ask that, because, and here's the thing, folks. When us at the admin staff, and I know Glenda and even the Wicked Queen, she's been a part of some of these. We want that input. We want to know what you guys think of it from the outside looking in, so we know if we can adjust something, make things better for you guys, because that's what we're about. Is you guys in these locations. But no, I see exactly what you mean, Liz. Even on our end, it was very confusing. And we were like listening in, like, okay, when's it our turn? When's it our turn? Vicki, what about you? What was your thoughts?
Kind of like she was thinking, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, maybe if they did it this way, trying to figure out an easier way where everything would move a little smoother. Because Haley would go to say something and somebody would talk over her, or vice versa, even, or switch, and there you guys would be. And, we were like, okay,
Okay.
on this one. But I think the idea of it is great, but it's like everything. You got to do it a few times to work all the bugs, and it'll happen. Well, you can figure that one out. It's easy to figure it out. It's just a matter of doing it a few times and getting it understood. I guess, but and here you've got investigations. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to be prepared for the unexpected in general. And so, but I think all in all, it was a good event. I do. I think the investigations was good, even though some of them had, didn't you get escorted out by the state patrol or something?
We'll get to that.
And that happens. Trust me, you did. We did an investigation one time, and the owners of a home was poaching while and they were on Mark Twain
National Forest,
Forest, poaching. And we were here, and there was like 10 of us in this big house. And I seen headlights, and we was at a dead end street out in the country. And I seen 2 cops get out and walk towards the front door. So I got on the radio and I said, look, everybody, get to the front door. So to make a long story short, I had no idea there was like 8 or 10 cops out there.
Oh,
I just seen
game warden, conservation department,
state patrol was there. But I opened the door, and like I said, there was 10 of us. They were all behind me. The look on my face when I looked out in the yard and seen all these cops, but when I thought back on it, the look on the cop's face, I opened the door and there's 10 adult people standing in the dark with cameras and all this stuff, And I was like, okay, guys, let's pack it up. We're done for the night. And out we went. So, I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
They do. They really do. And to say the least, we didn't finish the investigation. I didn't go back. I was like, I'm done.
Fair enough.
I'm done. Yeah.
Now, Glenda, you had a very special role for the event within the event. You were basically reading 3 locations at one time.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What kind of energy were you picking up during the entire time?
Well, for example, in the museum, it was very eerie, and I kept picking up to go to the left-hand side.
Okay.
And, they were going in that direction and at one point, and then they stopped and went to a different direction. I'm like, no, no, no. I'm thinking to myself, no, 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 back that way. Because it was calling me even before the investigation or anything. As soon as I saw where they were going, it was like, okay, the left-hand side. They got to go to the left-hand side. They got to go. So it was very interesting. The only part was like, okay, now I shut off that one, still being able to pay attention to what's going on the screen. And then, okay, go to the next one and see what's happening. Then, I was like, okay, why isn't there anything in Brian? And then he comes on, oh, I'm walking. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay, go back to the next one. So it was very interesting even for me to have the 3 locations at the same time and then have the audience and the interaction with Haley and, all that other stuff and make it look like I'm still here.
Yeah.
So at one point I just said, okay, you're a Gemini. You can split into 2. You might as well split one more time and make it you 1 here and 3 out there. And that's what I did.
Okay.
When you came back and you had said that you were kicked out, I was feeling that there was a stop. Like,
Yeah.
Something had happened abruptly and, you should stop. And I was like, okay, all right, what's up with that? And I was like, okay, he'll tell us later. So I was like, and Brian's spirit was telling me he's too old for this walk. And I'm like, he trains all the time. He's at the gym all the time. I was like,
I could never. I'll tell you what. I could never relate to Brian so much when he was saying on that walk.
But it was beautiful. It was really good because at one point, like I said, I had the 3 sets of energies, the 3 place locations.
Ruben has a question for you, though, Glenda. He wants to know if after that you felt drained emotionally, physically.
Okay. Every single time I do anything like this, I usually have in my purse chocolate, Snickers bar, a piece of cake.
Now you're talking back, kid. I like it.
Yeah, I have my backup. I have my backup all the time. When I go to investigations, I always make sure I bring something with me because it does drain you. When you do investigations or anything like that, or even mediumship, the spirits they work through your third eye, but they go into the section of your brain that produces the sugar. So it drains your sugar down. So if like Ruben says,
I say cake.
So it takes a hit on your endocrine system then.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I've always explained it to people as it's like a sugar rush. You have a sugar rush, and then you come down from.
And for me, it just drains me completely. Like I'm up, and then everything is done and everything's okay. I'm back in the car if I do an investigation, and I hit that wall. So
I hate to cut or interrupt, ladies. But Rootless, Melissa from Rootless said she's going to be taking off for the night. Again, huge thank you to you, Melissa, and them.
Good night, Melissa.
Good night.
Great investigation. Great investigation.
Yes, it was.
Melissa,
it
great
was.
job. All right, so I'm going to change it a little bit. Wicked Queen, you get something special tonight. I'm not going to ask you about the event within the event. What I'm going to ask you is, this has been a minute since you and I have been to St. Mary's. Obviously, we've had a lot of experiences, and actually, for those who don't know, that's actually where her and I met at St. Mary's. That's the first time we met, and as she says, she hated my stupid face, and I'm quoting.
I hate your stupid face.
She did, but we haven't been there for a minute. I want to talk about us getting kicked out, but I wanted you to talk about the investigation. Did it feel different to you than when we normally go up there?
It was quiet.
It really was.
It was like eerily quiet. So the weird thing about that place is it's surrounded by like miles and miles of woods. So there's animals, there's crickets, there's stuff running around. You hear squirrels, you hear foxes, you hear coyotes, you hear bigger animals.
Kitty.
You try to avoid hearing the bigger animals, but
Which he means mountain lion, by the way, folks. We've actually found one in Coltmont.
yeah, we call it big. We call that cemetery Big Kitty Cemetery because we had a mountain lion stalking us while we were out there
Literally 10 feet from us.
on a cliff, waiting to pounce on us.
Ooh.
So you're a big...
Out.
Peace and love.
See,
Yeah,
See you
so
later.
that one's called Big Kitty Cemetery.
See, I actually at that night said, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty," and they're like,
That's what
"No."
they say. I'd be saying, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty."
But
Y'all nuts.
it was quiet. When you got to a certain spot, there was no animals.
She did bring. I didn't even notice that whenever we were
No
investigating.
crickets, no squirrels, nothing.
I
You
think,
went through a
nothing.
portal.
in a
Went
sense,
through a
yeah,
portal.
in a sense. And actually, what was funny was the time she's talking about. Felicia, who's right there in chat, Wick Queen and I, we were walking towards a previous altar, and to what we could see, it was still there. And as soon as we got, I would say within 20 yards of it, everything just went dead silent. Like there was no crickets, there was no noises of any kind, and even like there wasn't even any traffic. I don't think at that point, or we didn't even notice it. But yeah, it was an odd night, and like we said during the video, even the wind.
Yeah,
Even
there's usually a lot of wind because the cemetery is between two mountains,
Yeah,
like in a gully.
Glenda, I'm sure you can attest to this, but up in the coal region where this was, there's usually always wind, always some sort of wind. But that night, it was literally nothing. And what was interesting to me was how active those spirits were. They were actually interacting with Felicia's lanyard, giving us yes or no responses.
Felicia brought this up.
Oh.
I still want to know who the favorite was. So we were doing Matt's free spirit box app on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
And we were asking if the spirits remembered us, and he said my name. And then a little bit after that, he said somebody came over. It was a male voice and said favorite. And me and Matt were like, "Who's the favorite, him or me?"
And it wouldn't give us an answer.
You know, wouldn't give us an answer. It just said favorite, and that was it.
Now, as far as I want to clear up what happened that night, because I know we left a lot of people with some unanswered questions, and I do apologize about that. So what happened was right when I believe Emma or Rosie, one of them had some sort of attachment at the Jack Ripper Museum.
Rosie.
It was Rosie. Okay,
Rosie.
It was hard for me to hear. We had a couple of vehicles pull into a cemetery that's literally right across the street. And we were paying attention to them because obviously middle of the night, people running around, we want to pay attention to where everyone's at. And then we had an ATV pull up.
2 ATVs.
Oh, 2 ATVs. That's
with
right.
camping gear on the back.
And literally minutes after that, there was 3 cars that just whipped right into the cemetery. No lights. Like they had their headlights, and they were all state troopers.
Yeah.
And
no police lights on, nothing.
We were literally sitting there, and just like it was funny. I think Felicia was on the ground. She turned her back. The Wicked Queen and I were facing each other. And we just go holding this equipment, just frozen, just looking at them.
Yeah.
And spotlight. And I'm like, I know who you are. So
well, their first question was if we seen 2 vehicles.
Now that was after they asked who we were, what we were doing,
Yeah.
and I gave them a business card. And the one guy goes, "You're doing what?" And I was like, "We're talking to dead people.
He's like, "You're not."
We're live. We're actually live. We're on the air." And I
Yeah.
explained a little bit. He goes, "Have you seen a couple of people running around here?" And we're like, "Yeah, they went that way." And they're like, and he goes, "So they went this way?" I said, "Yeah." And they're like, he goes, "Okay, you need to go that way." And I went, "Got it." Didn't even argue.
So one of them went across the street to the other cemetery to deal with the cars that were parked over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one went in the woods to deal with the 2 ATVs that went in there with camping gear.
Yeah, 'cause you're not allowed to camp there.
You can't camp at the cemetery.
And
He's just like, "But you guys need to go home."
Yeah, he goes, "You need to go home or go somewhere else." So we did have another location that is, it's pretty active. It's not as active, but we got some good evidence there before. But terrible
It's
signal.
spotty
Terrible
Yes.
signal. And I tried, I think, 4 or 5 times to get back on, and I couldn't. So we were just like, "Yeah, we're going home." So I do apologize about
That's
that.
why That's why we do ours. You know, we do ours pre-recorded. I don't know if people have noticed that or not, but we do, because you just never know what's going to happen regarding like your signal or anything like that. So it's just safer to make sure you got a full thing going. Because if it's necessary, we need to stay another night and do it again and get it to you guys. You know, that way you guys have your full video. You know,
and I'll tell you, St. Mary's, though, I mean, we love that place. There's so much history there, and there's so many, and signal's actually usually really good there. So it's a great location.
I liked Centralia.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that. We had some fun with that. There's some things that you guys didn't see on that one. I also
minus
who was running? Who was running?
Minus my mother asking me today, what was that thing that flew into your face? I was what thing?
Yeah.
It's when in the beginning when I took my sunglasses off, I freaked out because I had a spider web attached.
But I do want to say
that's the same as big kitties for me. Run.
I do want to shout out Felicia, though, guys, because that was her first investigation, formal investigation. She didn't run. She was asking questions. She did very well. So huge shout out to you, Felicia.
She was just a little scared when we got a little too far away because she ran out of light.
She's like, "You left me by myself." It's like, you're fine.
You have a flashlight. Calm down.
So we're all still alive. You'll be okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're not that far away from us.
So moving on, ladies. The next we actually had Haley from Casey and Marie's. They did the Hillside Cemetery. Now, I have to give them crap, and Haley, love you to death, but I do this every event. Portrait, landscape.
Yeah. Landscape.
Portrait, landscape.
Everything, even I know that. Everything must be in landscape.
I am literally in portrait right now.
I know. I was going to say something.
Say
you ready?
something, Matt. Go ahead.
Oh!
Portrait, landscape. Portrait.
I heard my phone.
Liz, just turn your head sideways, okay?
There you go.
Hi.
I always give people some crap. Like last one, it was Raymond with the flashlights.
Oh yeah.
I still give him crap for that, but no, the cemetery was really good. I could not believe how many responses they were getting.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it was literally, I think, every question and then some.
And we all know that they're full of dead people, but sometimes you go into a cemetery and it's totally quiet. It's like they went on vacation or something.
It's like, just them. I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't got time for this. They're not scared of us. Forget it.
They were very playful, though. Like most of the spirits that they were talking to were very playful, very upfront, and were very willing to speak. So to me, I don't know about you ladies, but that to me means that the paranormal groups in that area are doing their jobs. And what I mean by that is they are connecting with the spirits. They are making them feel respected and loved and cared about. So huge props to them.
Good interaction.
I just want to say, I have not watched a single video other than our own, but that is because I work from 6 a.m. to 2:30 and I'm usually in bed by now.
Yeah. Typically, what she usually does.
But I do share them all.
She does.
So
she does share.
I may not watch them, but I share them.
And she does go back every once in a while and watches everybody's. I do know that. I give her credit for that.
So Brian, don't hate me. I already got yelled at for not sharing.
Yeah, we'll just tell Brian we'll give you brownie points for your sharing. Okay.
That's it.
I'll just take the brownies. But no, they did. To me, they did an amazing job, and you know, Haley's mentality and her approach to the investigations is so positive. It's addicting.
She is positive. She herself is the most like, where do you get
Yeah,
she
is so energetic.
I'm like, she brings the energy into a lot of it. She can.
You remember when you were that age?
Very dead
situation. I'm not that old.
She's not that old.
I'm not either. I need some of it. She tires me.
She does. She does. But you know
She
what?
brings the energy and the
it's
questions.
it's
so
it's really
happy.
cool. It's really
Yeah.
cool because like it's energy like that makes me want to go out and investigate. Like it's like, you know
Mhm.
what? I see her energy. It just is addicting. It's contagious.
It's encouraging.
Yes.
Her
It is.
positivity is an uplifting, encouraging thing. Like you can just feel like that vibration from her. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
She's
She is
looking
all
for
about
the good. She's looking for
all
the
of
good
us.
in everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she wants
Somebody
You're froze,
screenshot.
Liz.
Somebody screenshot.
Oh,
Somebody
Oh my
screenshot.
gosh.
there we go. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I don't know if I keep talking or not. But anyways, like she just has it about her that she just you feel like you're loved by her. You feel
Mhm.
like she
Mhm.
sees you as an individual person, no matter what you said or whatever. She's like, I see you, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
Yes.
She's just bright. She's bright.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is her first global ghost hunt, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. And honestly, it wasn't just her first time investigating, but it's her first time even hosting and helping out. And amazing job. I
Mhm.
approve. I approve.
Yeah.
Like Brian
She's
said,
phenomenal.
she was gonna, help host, global ghost hunt on air, and I just went, okay. I was like, great. So Haley, great job, absolutely great job, and congratulations on becoming even closer in the GGH family.
Yes.
The next day she actually went back to Spook Road again, same thing. I don't know what
Mhm.
else we can really say. She brought the same energy, great investigation, a lot of great responses. But let's move on, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Haley, guys. Seriously, go back and check that out. But the next on that list was, of course, the man himself, Mr.
Let's start.
at the Lip Lock. What an amazing location.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely stunning.
So there's so many places I think about, like, oh, one of these days I'm gonna live there. Pennsylvania being one, just saying.
Don't do it.
But
Run.
Canada is
It's not worth it.
just
The
for the
leaves are
scenery,
nice and
though.
everything, but it's not worth it.
Drive through.
The history, the scenery, that sort of thing. But so it would be a temporary move, probably, because Ireland that's where I'm going. But anyways, Canada is one of them. And then when he sees those places, when he shows those places like that, it's like, oh my God, there's so much more to Canada than just the nice people. And I am
They're not all
stereotyping, but it's funny though. It's funny though, because he said that the other night. I'm like, there's impolite Canadians, because remember the guy riding his motor. Because it is a stereotype
he
that
told me
Americans.
that it's all the Asian Canadians that are impolite.
He did actually.
Yeah, he did. It's all the Asian Canadians that are impolite.
Oh my.
Ooh. Ooh.
Well, anyway, in America, we do have that stereotype.
Hear about this one.
Anyone want to follow that?
No, I'll be getting told about it. Matt will be told to tell me about it.
If everybody who's listening, I think we've decided that because of the things he's doing, we're going to just start calling him Mr. Mountie.
Yeah.
So
Detective Mountie.
Everybody has to
Detective
call
Mountie.
him that.
Detective Mountie. Badge number
But anyways,
SB7.
And I, like I was saying, I know that it's an American stereotype of Canadians, that they're just the kindest people or whatever. But then I don't really give a crap about the people whenever he shows me things like that. I'm like, I want to see that. I want to touch that. I want to experience that history that is there, and the people can rev their engine all they want. I'll just, whatever.
But that's the great part about this, is that we get to see a lot of places that you may not get to see or experience or hear about.
Are you saying
yes?
Hold on, ladies. Hold on.
Oh,
there we go.
Have a good night, everyone.
There you go. See you
Bye,
later.
Brian John.
Hi, how are you? I was watching the show all the way home. I was going to make comments, but I chose to keep quiet. Wicked Queen, do you have any questions? No. That was funny. I had a good chuckle when I saw that. When I heard that, at
I
least.
was like,
I wasn't
I
watching.
know
I
how
was
I am,
listening because
though.
I was driving. Yeah. No, it was good. It's been good. It's been a good show. So what? Who are you on right now?
The man of the
It
hour
was on
himself.
you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
because you were the last thing I heard was landscape portrait.
Okay, so he missed,
Landscape portrait.
he missed the last 2 minutes, so that's good.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
good
There you
then.
go.
That you don't know why Matt took off when you got.
Oh, what did he say?
Not me.
It's not what he said.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
fill
to
me
go
in.
back and watch it. Is all.
Okay, I'll go back and watch that part. Yeah, and then
It's an
I will
oh my
give
God
him a
moment.
friendly call
Go
tomorrow.
ahead.
Not me. Not me. I didn't do it for this
Oh, that's
this
funny.
this first time. It wasn't me. But no, we're actually on the lip lock. We were saying how
Yes.
amazing that location really was,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
you know, nothing against Bailey's Bridge or anything else, but I'm so glad that it happened the way it happened, that you went there, because that location was just awesome. And
Mhm.
what I find interesting is, I know you, especially like with we talk behind the scenes and stuff. We hear a lot during the investigations, but you right there were hearing the footsteps, and we were hearing them with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Why don't you give us some insight on the location?
You know what? Honestly, that place. First of all, and like I said during the video, that the video and even pictures online don't do it any justice on how big it really is. Like, it is a massive place. And you know, it's funny because when I was on set today, there was somebody that lives in Peterborough and validated everything I was saying. I was telling her all the stories, and she goes, "Yeah, that's true. That's true." And by the way, just to validate what Vicky said, his name is Artie.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not-
Oh.
Awesome.
He
That's
goes.
what I
He
kept
goes
hearing.
by.
I kept
Yeah, he
hearing
goes
that.
by Artie. His name's Arthur or Art. Some people would call him, but most people called him Artie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was really cool, and I'm glad I got here because I wanted to share that information. But you know, there's a lot more other stories that I heard today about that place, which validates on everything that's going on with that place. There has been a lot of suicides at that place, unfortunately. The story about the man falling down the pipe is true. And you know, Arthur or Artie dying and people hearing the whistling. And I don't know if you guys heard it, but during the investigation, when I went into the tunnels, and it happens every single time I go in those tunnels, you hear some kind of scream. And it happened that night. It happened again that night. It was definitely a woman, and I've captured a woman there before. But what was your original question? I went way off base there.
Just some insight. Just you're exactly what you're answering.
Yeah, and the young boy dying there is true. He died not too far away from the tunnels. So everything that I was talking about on you know, the investigation was true, and it's and like I said near the end of the video, it's an incredible place, but it's got a sad history.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Have you put more thought into going back in the daytime so that we could see it more, you know, for what it is?
Oh yeah, I could definitely go back during the day. And the great thing, my sister doesn't live too far from there, so I can, you know, I can see my sister and then I go out to the lift locks. But it's, you know, the very first time I was there, we captured so much that night. And the second time I was there, the only reason we went there because a bunch of us went to another location we couldn't get into. So I said, well, let's go to the lift locks. It's only like 30 minutes away. And so we all went. And again, so much is captured. And and I think somebody brought it up. And I think it was you, Vicky, that brought it up during the investigation that they want to talk.
Yeah,
they want to talk to you.
Yeah, they were wanting to talk, and you could hear. You couldn't make out a lot of stuff I was hearing, but I couldn't make it out.
Yeah, but even during the whole, like during that whole video, you could hear whispers
Mm-hmm.
during the whole thing. Like I can put caption after caption after caption with all the voices that were coming through. That obviously I didn't hear them all, but once watching the video, I go, "Holy crap! Did you hear that?" Like I was saying that kind of stuff to myself, and but again, it's one of those places where that you go, really, it's haunted, like because it is outside and it's so big and it's used every day during the summer and stuff like that, and you just wouldn't think of that stuff happening. The only thing I haven't caught and I really want to catch there is that figure in the tower.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I haven't caught, and I really want to catch that because it is a story that he's seen all the time in there.
Well,
so
Brian, I'm actually glad you came up because I actually. Oh, sorry, Liz. I didn't mean to.
No, I
cut
was
you
going to
off.
say, I had a thought when you were doing the investigation. I don't know much about like the districts of Canada very well or whatever, but
Okay.
is Ontario, is it a primarily French area?
No.
Okay.
Well, we have all types of different ethnic backgrounds in Ontario.
Well,
so
okay, and
yeah.
I was because I knew Canada like had a second language of French, and I was wondering if if anything, if anybody back then may have only spoken French, and maybe they were trying to communicate but couldn't in English.
It's
And
quite possible.
That's good.
It's quite possible. And Dom has been in the room quite a bit over this event, and he lives in Montreal. And I would love for him to come down because it's funny you say that, because when I went to Montreal to investigate with him, we were at this one place, and all they were saying, all that was coming out was French words during the whole investigation through the spirit box, through the SB7. It was nothing but French words. And I go, what was that? And then he would say, well, that was that, and I know a tiny bit of French, but it was all French that was coming through. It was really, really super cool. And but I've also had German come through. I've had many languages come through. But all in all, that place, if any of you come down to Canada, I guarantee when you go there, if you want to go there, if you come down this way, you're going to be amazed on how incredible that place is. And again, like I even said it during the investigation, it's got the 3 conduits. It's got water, it's got the limestone, and it's got the tracks.
Bringing a lot of the voices through.
So it's and I think it was Haley that even said it during the investigation, during the video, that there's got to be mounds and mounds of energy going on there, and that's why so much happens there. And it's one of those things where it's like a kid in a candy store, right? When you go there, you're going to hear all these different things and experience all these different things, and it's like at that moment during the investigation, I was saying to myself, this is why I do this. This is why I do this. Not because of the global ghost hunt and all that stuff. It's because of connecting with these spirits that are coming through. Because again, to Vicky's point earlier and during the video, they want to communicate. Like they're desperate to communicate with you. It's like, I think a lot of it's because they left under terrible circumstances, like falling down a pipe, suicide, car accident. It's all been tragic.
Yeah.
And it's like they have something to say and they want to say it. And again, just getting back to my point, that's why we do this. It's exact reasons why we do this. And I've always been the type of investigator that, because I always place investigators in 3 different categories, and that's the hunter, that's the one that are looking for the answers, and the third one is the scientific behind the paranormal. And that's the categories. I'm definitely the one looking for the answers. So, but no, awesome place. I'm glad I was able to bring everybody with me to that location. I would definitely do it again. if I need to, because it's one of those spots where you go, okay, well, you go there, you're going to catch something. But you know what really surprised me the most during that video? And again, I said it at the beginning, I'm not a fan of the K2.
Yeah.
I'm not. But
Mhm.
the responses I was getting at the beginning and near the end through the K2 was incredible.
Yep.
Mhm.
And you know, and I don't know about you guys, but with me, if I say, do you remember me? And they give validation on that, I think that is so cool
Yes.
that they remember you and they want to talk to you. And I think that's just the best
100%.
when you get a response back like that. So
Mhm.
100%. Now, Brent, I
Yeah.
did want to ask you in the beginning of your investigation, I don't know whether it was you that saw it or it was us in the audience that saw it, but there was a flash of light in the
Yes.
beginning of it.
yeah.
Towards the middle underneath the lift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did
The one
you
that was-
ever debunk that or figure out what was
You know
going on?
what? I think personally, because there was metal and glass, I think it might have been my light reflecting off something. And because I did say that during the video, I said,
Yep.
I think it might have been reflecting. But again, I would have to go back because it was very quick.
Yep.
And my light, I was going quite slow.
Mhm.
So I would really have to look. But again, it wouldn't surprise me.
Well,
So
It
there
wouldn't
was
surprise me at
also
all.
that mist. I thought it was a mist because it happened so quickly. But
Yep.
Vicky went back twice and looked at it, and
Yes,
she says it's an
it's a
actual
very
orb.
large orb, and if you really look at it, you'll see that it's between the camera and the wall.
and the
Okay.
wall
Mhm.
at
On
the
which
1904.
side? By the
1904
1904.
gate.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Yep.
what's interesting about that is because I talked about it during the video. When I went there with Patty, the medium, she saw a very, very tall, very large man, and she swears up and down that it's somebody that worked on a boat that traveled in the lift logs all the time.
Mhm.
And but he stood there the whole time watching us. And Patty's funny when she gets scared. You can tell when she's getting scared. And it's funny because she's a medium and she gets scared. But
Well, sometimes you get feelings that
yeah,
Mhm.
like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you know.
So I will definitely go
Yeah.
back and look at that. But again, on that side, I've captured EVP saying my name,
Mhm.
EVP saying hello, all kinds of different things. So,
I think that I
yeah.
think that I also saw, like, when you were setting up your stuff on the limestone wall, it's right after you got over to the 1904 side.
Okay.
Nobody else mentioned it, so I wasn't sure if I just didn't see it or whatever, but I could have sworn that there was a light up in the trees up also. It's very quick, and it was just like just a ball of light, and it was gone.
Like a flicker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, I never saw that. I never
must
saw that. But did you guys? There's that one moment where I saw the shadow to the left of me walk along. When I turned to it, did you guys see it? Because I saw it again.
I did
I
not
saw
see
it
it.
again,
I tried.
Yeah, and this is why I'm very weird, because when I see stuff, and again, I can't turn it off or on. When it happens to me. So sometimes when I'm seeing something, I don't say it on video because people are going to think, okay, well,
He's
is he bullshitting it? You know, is he bullshitting? So that's why generally I don't say I see something on camera, because people are going to say, you know what, this guy's a joke. And that's why I stay away from saying, okay, well, I just, like, when I'm at the church, like, it's figure after figure after figure after figure, and a lot of kids. And I found out the abandoned church, it used to be a school before it was a church.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
So
with the
that's why
kids.
there's so many kids there.
There was a lot of that went on in the early, late 1800s, early 1900s, as your churches was the school building.
School.
Yeah. So, and just to mention about the church, because I know you guys talked about the church earlier on when you were talking about the event within the event. And I'm glad you said what you said, Vicky and Liz, because really that was really a test.
Yeah.
We wanted to try it, and we knew that we were going to have mistakes, and we knew we were going to have issues.
Yeah,
and that's
you never
what
know until you do it.
And that's why, that was really a practice run for next year, when if teams want to be involved within the event. and it was just really a trial. But I found out yesterday, and I told this to Matt yesterday. So I'm looking into maybe purchasing the land in the church.
I think you told all of us that. I remember you
Yeah.
saying that. And I
Oh,
thought it was a
there's
fantastic
more. There's
idea.
Oh,
more.
wait a minute! I
There's
found out
more.
the price of the land.
Uh-oh.
in
Uh-oh.
the church. I found out yesterday. $18.9 million.
Oh my God, that's pocket change. That's pocket change, Liz. Come on, we can do
wait a
it.
minute! You haven't heard all of it yet.
Mm.
The property taxes per year,
Oh, God.
almost $9 million.
Yeah.
Ooh,
How many acres is with that?
3.9.
that's it?
That's it.
Canada's out of their mind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So much for Liz
Definitely.
moving to Canada.
Yeah. You know what? But I am in talks. I am in talks with somebody that I know that knows a lot of rich people. So putting together a business plan and seeing if we can maybe purchase the land, but the deal has to be the church can't be torn down. The church
Yeah,
has to
right.
stay.
Right.
So
Get some sort of investors.
yeah, that's what it is. They're
Right.
investors, and
Yeah.
they have a lot of money, and they have a lot of money in their pockets, and it's burning their pockets. So
Ooh.
I love those kind of people. And
There's
I
a lot
have to
of
be
them in
honest, I love them.
Arizona.
I love those kind of people. So
Well, I am up for adoption if any of them are watching.
I'm gonna say I think we all love those people. They're like mommies
Yeah.
and daddies.
but so the guy that I was with on Saturday, John, he's a real estate agent.
Okay.
So he was going to be calling the people today to find out more information, what they're planning on doing with the land. But I would like to know who's going to be able to afford $18.9 million just for the property itself, and then another $9 million a year.
I'd like to know who set that price.
Yes, I would like to know.
Real estate.
Wow.
You know what? You guys down there, in the States, you can buy a five bedroom house for like 200,000, 400,000. Here in Canada, that would be over $1 million. Prices are outrageous. It's very, very difficult for a new family, a single person to buy a house in Canada. It's virtually impossible. What's that?
I was talking about moving to Canada. I'm out.
Oh no, you don't want to move to Canada. Our wonderful
Either that
Prime
or just
Minister,
get some land and pitch a tent, Liz. That's
Yeah.
all I can say.
our wonderful Prime Minister is turning our country into a communist country, just like Cuba. So I don't. If somebody says I want to move to Canada, I say you better have a second thought about that because it's crazy here. So anyhow, other than that, Lift Locks was absolutely amazing, and I got an amazing place next year. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and this place is twice as haunted as the Lift Locks.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
Excited.
There's something I wanted to tell you, Brian, before we get off the Lift Locks.
Yeah.
As soon as you can, you need to go back there and you need to sit down at the picnic table.
Yep.
There is a young boy there, and he really wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
So
she and I discussed that after you got off of there. I think it's that boy who was killed there.
Good possibility of it.
What do you think he wants to say?
I don't know. Maybe there's something he needs to tell you, or maybe he's wanting you to take a message somewhere, put it out there, or whatever. I'm not sure.
Well,
just for the record, every time you talked about the woman falling down the stairs, I kept having the feeling of being pushed. And I said that a couple of times. I'm not too for sure she wasn't pushed down the stairs. And I just let it go with that because, I mean, that's all I had. It's just, it came and it went, as when you would say, go down the stairs.
Even though there's a lot of them there and it's steep, I really can't see somebody honestly dying on those stairs unless they were really pushed hard and slammed into the ground, but because you got stairs and then you got a flat area in the middle of the stairs and then you got more stairs. So hey, listen, it's always possible.
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing really surprises me anymore.
Mhm.
So, but it's curious about the boy because every time I go there, I feel like there's somebody there that wants to say something and needs to say something every time I go there.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I felt it really strong. And when you left, I felt that it was still there. And I was like, maybe it'll follow him, because we've had that happen. Doing investigations, they'll follow us from one place to the other where we're at. But to me, it didn't happen. And so I was like, man, he needs to go back and have a conversation. And I think you even towards the end of your investigation there, you said, maybe I go back to the picnic.
Yeah, because I had a feeling
yes, go.
Yeah, it's funny because I had this feeling, I had this overwhelming feeling that I needed to go back there.
Right. And that's why I'm saying something to you now. I was gonna send you a message.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely will go back. Well, I'll definitely go back. But I'll try to go back during the day and then get some nice shots during the day. And then because again, like I said at the beginning, videos and pictures don't do it any justice at all. The place is absolutely huge.
Well, I have seen like pictures of them of the lift and even in the distance in videos, but being up on it and in it like you were, it was just great. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm glad people enjoyed it. I'm glad they did. I'm glad I took it's about an hour and a half drive for me. So I'm glad I can't even talk. I'm glad I did that drive. And I've been talking a lot today. So I'm a little bagged, to be honest.
Welcome to my world.
It was a very, very long day on set. And
are you done with that?
Yeah, it was just the one day, and but it's just like I don't know what it is. I get the cop rolls all the time, and
Detective Mountie.
Yeah, I was a detective again today.
I was going to say Mr. Mountie.
But you know what? It was one of those things that I'm not one to talk bad about anyone, but I think the director's okay. How do I say this?
Watch yourself now.
Does this have to be behind the scenes?
I think the director was quitting smoking.
Okay.
And he had an e-cigarette. So I think because he's quitting smoking, I don't think he was in the best of moods.
Feel that.
So sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, but overall it was a good day. And
everybody
I met some really, really good people
too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, no, it's funny because of the fact that, and this is what this was funny because when I was just right around the corner from the studio. I was just right around the corner. So I was sitting at a light and at a red light, and it turned green and I started pulling out and there started cars coming this way. Well, somebody was honking behind me, telling me to move. I go, well, I can't move. There's cars coming the other way. Guess who it was?
The director.
The director.
Well, I hope you didn't road rage on him.
Yeah. So when he saw me pulling in and he looked at me, he's going, "Oh, okay." Anyways, but other than that, it was a good day.
It was. It's you.
Yeah.
But either way, Brian, a great investigation. Absolutely,
Lift
Lock was amazing.
Thank
so moving on, I can't believe I'm saying this, but we actually had to follow Brian on our investigation, and the Wicked Queen and myself did Centralia, and as it said in the video, if anybody thinks they know what Centralia is, it was actually Silent Hill, the movie and the video games were based off of Centralia, and that's where we went. And Wicked Queen, that was our first time actually exploring and investigating Centralia. Even though we live a half hour away. What did you think of the investigation and our little tour or whatever we decided to call it?
Of me?
Yeah, you're Wicked Queen.
I zoned out.
Good morning.
Shut up! It's past my bedtime. No, I liked it. I just got a little concerned when we found what we thought was sinkholes, and then the fact that certain areas, like, it was hotter, like the rocks were hot, and some of the trails were like hot to the touch, like you could feel it through your sneakers as you're walking along, the heat radiating from the ground.
Yeah, the video definitely did not do it justice, because it was really weird. It was like walking into a sauna and then walking right back out of it.
Yeah, there
And
were certain spots.
Take a thermal camera out there, guys.
We actually said that during the video and during the recording. I wish we did. I wish we had
left
one.
our thermometer here.
Even a non-contact thermometer would have been beautiful, because just the heat alone, like when we were up on the hill there on that first bend, you get to that edge and it just hits you, and
I'm trying to think of alternative ways to prove the heat. Like, I wonder if you could take something with you, that the little cave like area that you guys went into, and it was very strong of sulfur. I'm wondering if you guys could not bring something that could you said probably like 100 degrees, so probably wouldn't cook quickly or anything, but I wonder if you could put something there to show just the heat coming off of that, walk around, come back and show it, just to kind of give those who don't understand the more of a visual of how it is.
We were discussing, they have these weather stations at Walmart that have these little key fob looking things that's what it takes the temperature and everything else, barometric pressure and whatever. And then it has an actual station to where it shows the readings. We were actually talking about getting one of those and just setting it either outside of that area and let it get that temperature and get the readings, and then put it into the vents, and that would show. Then that would even show the barometric pressure, that'd show the humidity, that'd show the actual ambient temperature. But it was kind of one of those hindsight things afterwards, just like with the spirit box session. I really wish I would have brought my speaker to hook up to that, because some of the responses we were getting were phenomenal, and they were just right on point. But I mean, me personally, for the first time for us walking through that, to me, it was amazing. It was something that is long overdue, in my opinion. Like, even the St. Mary's Cemetery was right over the hill. Like, it was like, what is it, Umbria? Like maybe a 15-minute drive from St. Mary's to Centralia. It was just so amazing just to see that history. And it is very, and as Brian said with his investigation, the video didn't do it justice. When you're standing in, and I don't know, Glenda, if you've been there, but when you're standing in those streets that used to be streets, and you think about, the general stores that were there, the homes that were there, the businesses, everything, and then it's just woods. Now it's woods. It's awkward. It's cool, but it's awkward. And I wish the state troopers would let us get in there at night, because that has to be disorienting. But we were finding so many different things, like the fence, I think it was you, Vicky, who said it was a fire hydrant.
I said maybe that's a fire hydrant.
They actually kept most of the fire hydrants near the road, which was really cool. It's something old school they did, and they used to be the pumps. That's what that they used to have. But that post up on that hill there, it looked like, at first we thought it was a gate post, but then I figured, it might be a light post, just because of the diameter of it.
Right, in the area that it was at too.
Yeah. And actually, if you guys are wondering, I actually have that anthracite with me.
I wondered if you did that or not.
We took it.
Yeah, we took it. It's a souvenir.
But I wanted to keep it.
Yeah, but this is actually the first piece we've ever found in that area. Usually, it's pretty hard to find an actual anthracite piece of coal. But the spirits up there were absolutely amazing. And it was a lot of fun, and I know we were talking about going back. I think the one thing though Wicked Queen wants to get away from is the spider webs.
I was going to say to get us. Wear one of those beekeeper nets over
out
there.
Of that hole. And I've gotten better with videos. I only swear 3 times. and the F word only came out of my mouth once, and that was when I brushed my hair and a spider landed on me.
Yes, and you
And
said
I freaked out because it was
yes,
in my
you
hair.
did.
No.
Well, you know, after the video was done, me and Matt were talking, and I told him, "You guys captured an EVP," and I heard it clearly. So we went back to that spot, and there it was.
Mm.
He captured
You guys
an
pick out what it said?
EVP. I think it said, "Hey there."
There was one that said "Hey there," and then there was another one that said "What."
Yeah.
We were, I think the "Hey there," we were up on the side of the mountain, and
No, the "Hey there" was when you were
was that
by
down
that
there?
little cave thing.
Okay, so it
Oh,
was
the sulfur.
by the
vent.
sulfur vent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we thought we caught the other one, or the "What," up by the blasting cap, or what you thought was the blasting cap as we were leaving. But
That was.
But the
before
"Hey
we
there"
went
was
to the
pretty cool.
cemetery.
yeah,
You
that
could
was
just
clear.
hear it, "Hey there."
That was very
And it
clear.
was, it was very cool. Very
The
cool.
one in the cemetery with the spirit box, the lady that we couldn't find when we said we were leaving. As soon as he said we were leaving, she said, "Good day."
Yep, she's a good day. And I don't know if you guys could
It wasn't good riddance. I mean,
No,
That's
it's
good
a good
point.
day.
Good point.
actually
Yeah,
what
good
was
point.
what was really funny, I don't know if you guys could hear it clearly in the video, because I had it on speaker so we could both watch it and listen to it. I actually said, do you guys want to say anything to our friends watching or is going to be watching this? And as soon as I finished that question, you heard, "Nope."
Was it Mike or Steven that said
I
that?
think it was Steven. I think it was Steven who said that. It was a male
We had
voice.
two distinct male voices. Mike was a little like about Matt's tone, not super deep. And then we had a deeper one. His name was Steven.
That's the one I kept saying in chat for you guys to listen for, to see if that was matching anything you guys might be hearing, because he was very talkative, and that cemetery was right over the tree line. If you guys go back and watch the video, you see me show the Orthodox church or the cemetery, and I pan over. That's where we were when you guys were saying you were hearing those voices. That's where the first vent is over on that
And
other side.
apparently Steven's buried in that cemetery that we couldn't get in.
The Orthodox one, yeah.
Yeah, but he really wanted to talk, so he came from that cemetery to the one we were in.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it was really cool. And you know, even the energy from down on the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill changed. Like all three locations was completely different with the energy.
And Michael.
Oh, Michael!
When
yeah,
Michael was behind me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't you guys find a grave with Michael down? It would have been behind you where you were sitting.
Yeah, because I kept totally feeling something touch my shoulder. So I heard him because he was talking to Matt, and because Matt asked him about leaving the union because we heard somebody say union and then quit. So Matt asked who wanted to quit the union, and he said me. And I was like, "Is this Michael that wanted to quit the union?" And then I heard over the spirit box and on my little disc I just bought that it was yes. And I kept feeling something on my shoulder, and I was like, "Hold on, I want to ask something." I was like, "Michael, are you behind me?" And he's like, "Yes, why?" I'm like, "I'm not asking you to move. I just want to know if you're behind me.
Make sure that it's you.
Make sure that it's you and not some creepy pervy ghost."
Yep.
And Wicked Queen and I did learn a very valuable lesson. Afterwards from filming. If you guys have an iPhone 15 or have an iPhone in general, and they have a cinematic setting for your video, don't use it.
I mean, it works great.
It works great
for filming. It
but
tracks you
if you want to
perfectly.
upload it, don't.
Yeah, he had a heck of a time uploading it.
Huh.
I thought it would be great for the cemetery because I figured we were going to be moving a lot, so it would track us and not make us blurry, which it turned out great. But he said he could not download it onto his computer.
That's really weird because we do use that feature. Ruben's phone is a 14, and we use a cinematic feature. We haven't had any issues with it, but I have to say though, regarding like the film quality, holy crap! You know, you can't beat that though.
No,
It is,
I had
that's
to.
why I wanted to use it. It was crystal clear.
Especially when you use your phone in the landscape mode, Liz.
Not doing
The problem
it.
was is he showed me the bit. It went photo negative.
Yeah, when it was.
But you know, we joke about that, the landscape, the portrait,
Oh,
and
we
we
do.
joke about it, and we all do that stuff. And there is a reason why, because portrait, you get to see really everything around you, or I mean landscape. And portrait, you don't really get to see anything. It's just you in the picture. You know, not that that's a bad thing. It's just when you're when you're in landscape, you get to see everything that's going on around you. So
Right.
I'm not talking about
wholeheartedly
now.
agree.
I'm talking
Yeah, I
about
was
when you're
gonna say-
filming the investigation.
I was gonna say the reason why they're even bringing it up is because I refuse to do it now. I'm not
Yeah.
showing y'all
Oh
more
yeah,
of this.
no.
This
No,
is
no, no, no. I'm talking, you know,
You
I'm
get
talking
this.
about I'm talking about when you're out in investigations and
You're
you know,
such a
it's
rebel, Liz. Such a rebel.
you're not getting anything around me. You're just getting this.
all that.
Yeah.
Take it in, everyone.
All that.
Get
But
that
it's
selfie
important,
selfie look.
It
To,
is,
Yes.
it is important though, because you know when people are coming in to watch the investigation, they yes, they're watching you, but they want to see everything else that's going on around you. So
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
and it's and to be honest, it looks better, obviously.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I have to ask a question that I have been waiting for everybody to send me an answer, and I still have yet. The only person who has answered is in fact Matt when I asked today, but I would like to know what camera everybody is using, because you know we have a 4D HD something or another. It's supposed to be all, you know, great. But looking at some of your guys' other stuff, I mean, you guys have some really high quality filming, and I would like to know what camera you guys, everybody's using, even if they could just leave it in the comments under this video so I can go back and look, because it's just for my own curiosity. But now that I'm, you know, everybody's attention's on me right now, I'm asking, and I want everybody to.
Hold on, Liz. Hold that thought. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, it's me. Listen, I need to know what camera you're using. Okay. Just leave it in the comments.
That's
right,
it.
great,
Okay,
thanks.
go away now. Get me off screen.
Oh wait,
No.
hold on. Now, how do I do this? Oh crap!
Uh-oh.
There it is.
Yeah, I
I
used.
thought I was gonna have to bring out some jazz hands or something.
I love my camera. The only problem with my camera, and it usually happens on Canons, it stops every 30 minutes and you have to start it again. But I think most DLR cameras or DSLR cameras do that. Mine's a Canon Rebel T7i, and it's a beautiful camera. I've had it for about 4 years, and I've gotten some fantastic footage or video from my camera. I think the phone's great, and when you're live, but when you're out there just recording, I would stay away from the phone camera and use an actual DSLR camera.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic for creating videos. And you definitely wanted to go the DSLR route. So mine is the Canon Rebel T7i, I believe, and it's a great camera. And that camera was only, I think it was $1,400. So it's not overly expensive camera, and it will last you. And I have 2 different lenses as well. So, but it will last you if you take care of it. It will.
And by the way, that's $1,400 Canadian, which is about $700 to $800 a year.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's more reasonable.
Yeah.
See, that's why I saw your face. I was like, wait a second. She's not doing the.
I wasn't thinking about Canadian. You know, I'm just
Well,
thinking dollars, and
you
I'm
know
like,
what?
oh,
If you go to hey, listen, if you go to a camera store, they always have deals.
Yeah.
They always have sales.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, there's no reason why you can't get one secondhand.
Right.
Yep.
Of
you know,
course, yeah.
secondhand
And
are
that's
just as good. So
and that's
Now,
kind
I,
of why I'm asking though, because I mean, it's not that our camera is bad. I mean, you guys have seen it. It just doesn't have, the same quality I noticed in a lot of these other groups. And that's why I was kind of curious about what everybody's using so I can kind of compare and stuff. Because
Yeah.
Ruben and I, we're always looking into new technology for the group.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
always looking to improve that because what if we missed something simply because our camera didn't have the range or it was too blurry or pixelated and we missed it,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
I will say, Liz, and the first, I would say, when did we? I think we switched halfway through, after the sulfur vents, in Centralia. I was using the Galaxy S23 FE. That was what we started recording with, and then I switched, when we were at the cemetery, to my iPhone 15.
Okay.
So, but no, both of the phones, I mean, they do wonderful. They do absolutely wonderful.
The
And if
problem
you're
with us having
sorry, Mackenzie, if you're looking at microphones, I would definitely go towards the Rhodes. Rode microphones, fantastic microphones. Mine can pick up a flea farting from 5 miles away. The microphone's incredible. So I would definitely go the Rode, and those are fairly cheap. You can get those on Amazon. In fact, you can get a nice camera on Amazon, like a DSLR camera.
Actually, I think that's where we got our camera from. I'm
Yeah.
not 100% sure,
So-
but then
And
just for
mine.
verification, Rode I'm sorry, not W.
Rode is
RHODE?
RODE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
Like
before
Rode
Wicked
it.
Queen, before you finish your statement, I have to just hop in here because you reminded me about the microphone. For those of you wondering, we weren't used to having a microphone, so we're talking like we were talking to the camera, not the microphone. So if we sounded blown out, that's what it
Yeah.
was. We were projecting way too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, the microphone when you wear it on your shirt, I'm talking about the microphone you want to plug into the camera.
Yeah.
So,
camera.
and that will you'll get a base. You just get an arm, and see, like Rootless Destinations use
Right.
the Rode as well. Fantastic microphone, and you can just get a mini one. You don't really need a real big one. I think my Rode costs like $25 or $30.
That's not bad.
So they're fantastic microphones, fantastic, and they will pick everything up. But one suggestion I will make, especially if you're outside, get yourself a furry cat to put over the microphone because that will block
Yes.
out the wind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I did on my video at the lift locks. I had the furry cat on there. Great investment. $4 for those furry cats. And it blocked out all the wind.
Was that the Rode mic that you were using too?
Yes.
Okay. It's very much a directional microphone, isn't it? Like I noticed, like if you go behind the camera, you really did fade. You'd come back out and you come back in, and
Well,
you could
that's
really pick
because
you up again.
I was stepping away from the camera when you heard me fade. But when you're right near the camera, like you got to be careful of your voice because my voice projects and it's quite loud. And so I got to be very careful when I'm right beside that microphone because when I go back and listen to it, my voice is like huge. So I have to lower the volume through sometimes the editing because it is very, very, very loud. And but great microphone. And even the prism lighting is really good that Melissa put in there. I have a light that blinds you, and I got that from a camera store. And you know what? I've said this on many global ghost hunts. Lighting is very, very important. Your camera is important. Staying in landscape is important. Lighting is very important as well.
Raymond.
Because there's a lot of times where we get the feedback after the global ghost hunt is done, and one of the biggest things was lighting. People weren't able to see what they wanted to see. So like I know there's been your videos, it's been sometimes quite dark in your videos.
We had to get it
Raymond's
on our light.
and Raymond is against lighting for some reason. And Raymond, if you're in the room, it's true. And but lighting is very, very important. And because really
like
at the end of the day, it's not about the teams. yes, it's about your investigations, but it's about the people in the audience that are watching your investigations. And, that's who you want, going over and following you and watching your videos and doing all those wonderful things. But again, getting back to the lighting is very, very important. And you know what? Like, honestly, I know we had a couple of investigations during the day. And look at the quality of it being during the day. It was fantastic. And so lighting is very, 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 very important.
Right.
So, and I always think if it's haunted, it's haunted. It doesn't matter if it's day or night. So
I think with the dark though, I just want to throw this out there real quick, but I think with the dark though, it helped to heighten our senses to where we're more receptive to something happening.
I agree
but
with
I was
that.
going to say, what Vicky was going to say though is one thing that we did do, and we have seen a much better quality in our night vision on the camera, is that we invested in a very large infrared light that Ruben hijacked somehow into a car battery, and it just runs like he just a flip switch on it.
Actually, it's a motorcycle battery.
Whatever, something like that. And we stick it on like one end of the room, and it projects the IR across the room so that it's easier to pick up on, because our cameras infrared tend to get blocked by the microphone, and so you'll end up with a crescentness.
Well, Melissa wrote it in here. Rode has different sizes, so you can actually get one that's a Rode microphone. It's about this big, and the quality is amazing. So they have, I think they have 6 or 7 different sizes, and just an excellent microphone to have, and it's not expensive. And again, mine can get a flea farting from 5 miles away, for God's sakes. So they're and you know what? And the reason I love it as well is because sometimes EVPs can be very, very quiet. And I find that these microphones really pick it up. Really pick it up.
So what I'm hearing then is, if Ruben's sitting on a cat ball, we should definitely not have that camera on him.
No. Especially if you think he's farting. And I did hear that earlier too. So
okay, yeah.
Hey, you
I'm like,
always
be reason why that ball's going off.
you always need be real. So remember that. So
Ruben has no reaction now at this point. Everybody should know he's just sitting there stoic. Oh, he just looked at me.
Now, Wicked Queen, what were you gonna say? Sorry, I know we got off.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's gone already.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, it's my fault. That was my fault.
If you do remember, just throw something at me.
I'm sorry, I did totally hijack the entire conversation, but I really wanted some answers, and I weren't getting them.
You're fine. You're fine. That's what this is about. Just having fun and learning and just relaxing, having a great time.
Yeah.
I would like to say something, Matt. We was talking just now about the lighting and the mics and all of that. What I was saying earlier when we was talking about this event where we did 3 investigations. Our first investigation for Windyville, we learned things that we needed to change. Right off the bat, I needed to wear a mic. Okay. No one could hear me. We learned the lighting techniques and the different things that we needed to do so things would be better. And that's exactly what's going to happen with you guys doing this first event. You're going to go back and you're going to see things that you need to change and to adjust and to figure out a different way of doing it. And that's what I was meaning earlier when I said what I said.
and it's funny you say that, because when we first started the Global Ghost Hunt, that was brought up. People are going to learn from their own investigations what needs to be better. And you guys have done that. Other people have done that. And that's another good, because the first Melissa's in the room. They were on their first investigation at the Claiborne house. They were in portrait. And, again, it's one of those things we all learn. And as investigators, and this is the biggest thing for me, and as investigators, not only do we learn, but we learn from each other. And that's one of the reasons why the Global Ghost Hunt is so special, is because you guys are going to learn techniques that you didn't know. And like the glass technique with the marble in the glass, You know,
Mhm.
Ghoul Gang does that. I learned that. It's a fabulous method. And, you know, we're all learning from each other. And that's what's so
Yep.
great about the Global Ghost Hunt. Like, you guys are learning from other teams. Melissa's learning from whoever. Matt's learning. And it's just a wonderful thing. And it's nice to see.
No, 100%.
It definitely helps us with new ideas too.
Yeah,
So like
there you go.
a lot of times, every time we do a global ghost hunt, we sit there and go, okay, what new approach are we going to bring to the table this time?
Mhm.
And a lot of times we're like, I don't know, you know, and so we'll kind of go back, you know, and we'll think about what we've seen, and we're like, you know what, that was a really good idea. Now, what if we do this with it, though, you know, or
What if
something,
you
you know
do
what I mean?
something a little different, do a little twist with it, or you know,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
one of the major things for me that I learned from the Global Ghost Hunt, and I think Brian will attest to this too, I learned that you can get a paranormal hangover electronically.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh God. It's
And
so true.
you folks that watching this, you may think I'm joking. No, Brian and I are not. I could not tell you, especially after the first event. Like, we would be taking notes on what was going on. Like, even with, you know, Abyss, with your investigation, we're taking notes on everything. We're, you know, just preparing ourselves and doing everything, listening to the videos, watching the videos. And afterwards, we're like, I'm going to bed. Screw it. No, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's
We have 10 days of this. Oh.
Yeah, the very first event, the very first one, it was almost 60 hours of ghost hunts that we watched. We were behind every single one. And it was close to 60 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot of paranormal watching. But again, it's just going back.
I know.
You know, we learned a lot. What's that? What's that?
Don't forget, Vicky was in almost every
I
room.
say yes, I know.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I forgot you're in the room watching.
We're actually kind of behind on reviewing our own personal footage simply because we have so many static cameras that we allow to run all night, and they get set up in the middle of the day.
Yes.
So we, you know, and there's only so many of us who have the full-time ability to actually get in there and do it. And then by the time we get home from work or something, we're like, no, you know, and so we're like, we have another investigation coming up. Nope, we can't. We just can't right now. We're too
yeah.
Now, if someone needs help, that's a whole different story.
It is. We make an exception.
Yeah, someone needs help. But yeah, like our Wendyville, the very first one we did, we had 5 static cameras, and we set them up on a Friday evening. We did not even record until Saturday evening. We left Sunday morning, like 11 o'clock, I think it was. Those cameras was going from the time we got there to the time we left.
Oh, wow.
5 of them.
Wow.
So we understand a lot of footage review. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I know you do. I bet you do.
Yes.
I bet you do.
All right, so we're going to continue on because I'm sure we could sit here for hours. I don't know if, Brian, were you able to catch tonight's investigation?
No.
So for those of you who missed it, Rootless, Melissa, I know she's in the room still, they did Magnolia Cemetery. And I think we can all agree the real stars of that investigation were the dogs.
Yes.
yes.
They had a couple of visitors from a couple of gorgeous dogs, absolutely gorgeous dogs.
Luna.
And Luna was so pretty. Luna was so, and that Australian setter was amazing too. And of course the squirrels. They were being squirrels.
Say, don't forget the squirrels now.
I'd be nuts. I'd be nuts if I didn't mention the squirrels. Yeah, see? But in all seriousness, that tree. I want to get some input from you guys. What was your thought about the tree? Like, what do you think is going on?
We discussed that, right? Okay, lightning. Ruben and I think it was lightning. We think it warped the tree and it continued to grow around it and it come all funky like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, Brian, for you, since you haven't caught up yet on the video, so basically they were at obviously the cemetery. They went to this tree and they were getting K2 spikes.
Yeah.
Just at the tree. And Melissa showed the distance between the camera and the tree and where they were getting the spikes, and it was not the camera. It was the tree that they were getting spikes on.
Interesting.
So
Something going on with that tree, like maybe lightning. It still
Yeah.
has some residual effects from it.
I think
Very
it's a
possible.
combination of lightning striking it, and then over the years, water going down through where lightning had struck it, and it's just really drawn
Well,
it
we
in.
also can't discount the fact also that it is a cemetery. How
Yeah,
many
it's sitting there in a
how many
cemetery.
no, what I'm saying is though is like how much energy has been released into that ground.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And how many sorrows has that ground, soaked in? How many tears and woes and there, regardless of what might have happened naturally to that tree, which is always my go-to. Let's look at the natural,
Mhm.
but we cannot discount the fact that energy itself is tangible. It is proven in the scientific world to exist, and there's so much energy absorbed at all times all around us, and that ground has seen a lot. Not to mention
Well,
it
didn't
was
Melissa
Texas.
say there used to be a hospital right by there too?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what she
Yeah.
said.
So the combination of that in itself with the cemetery and everything, there's bound to been,
And plus construction. There was construction going on too.
yeah, there was construction going on.
Always works it all up. But the other thing too we've got to consider is that it was Texas. How many battles were fought there during the Civil War?
True.
We got to,
True. Very true. Either way, definitely a rewatch video. And I know that there was probably a couple things that even we missed while we were watching live. So that catches up to date, folks, for the past investigations. Coming up tomorrow, though, we have New York Paranormal. They're returning again, and they will be at the Gatehouse Museum. I'm excited for this one.
Yes.
Never heard of it. It looks beautiful. And New York Paranormal did an amazing job in March, April. They did a great job. And I'm just going to go through real quick because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Yeah, we could be here for hours. Then,
let's not do that.
and then the next day on the 26th, we have Ghoul Gang returning. Honestly, I'm excited for this location, the Great Ladies Mausoleum. That honestly is where somebody has caught one of the best pieces of evidence that I've ever seen. It was actually him and Lex. They were, we actually featured it in some of the GGA's videos. They asked if spirits were together, got a response. And it was just on cue. And you could just see the shock and the awe and the natural response that, or reaction that Lex and Brian got. So I'm excited. And they had a great time with it last time they were investigating. They did an amazing job there.
With the help of Vicky.
Exactly.
With the help of Vicky. The gypsies, all that stuff. It's we're unwinding an interesting history at the mausoleum. And it's really a spectacular thing because when they were asking about the gypsies, responses like that. And
I think you'll find a baby involved, and he is not buried very far from there. He's not buried around her, but he's not far from there.
Yeah, interesting. It's very cool.
Either way, I'm excited, and Rosie and Emma have that same energy that we were talking about earlier. That is just addicting. It's contagious. I'm excited for that. And I have to call you out on this one, Mister. Caught in the Veil that same night at 8 p.m. The Christie House Museum. You misspelled Veil.
Did I really?
Yes, you did.
Could you try again?
Okay. Siri had something to say about it too.
Oh, is that your Siri?
Yeah.
You stop it.
Try again.
But
where did I spell it wrong?
On the 26th, 8 p.m., you spelled it Viel.
Oh, Jesus.
I saw that and I told them, I was like, I'm calling you out for this. Call me out.
So I said it, I spelled it wrong in the stream?
On the schedule that we sent out.
Wow.
All of the groups, I'm speaking from personal experience, for all of the groups who submit a video to GGH and it goes to Brian, if you ever find something like that, just message him. He's smiling like I'm getting ready to say something goofy, but I promise you, he is very quick to just jump on it and get it fixed for you. So if you ever see that, just let him know, because it happened to us when we went to Granby or wherever it was. So Web City, what it was.
Yeah, I do it right
and he
away.
spelled Web incorrect, and so we were like, no, this is how it is, and he fixed it. So
I can't bust on him too much because he catches mine all the time, and it's funny.
Oh
We
dear,
go back
but I
and
don't
forth.
do it publicly though.
We'll edit this out. It's not like it's live or anything.
So just a testament to the customer service with GGH you get. There you go.
There you go.
It's a segue.
Oh,
See?
the love
We
I'm
won't
feeling
talk
right
about
now
the
for Liz.
t-shirts.
The
Okay.
love.
We won't
You know
talk
what? Hey, listen. We've actually spoken to the company about it and about the T-shirt that you were supposed to receive, and apparently it's still being made.
That's what Matt said. He said it. They said it was still in production, and I was like,
How is
"Good
that even
God, how big a
possible?
I
t-shirt
checked.
is?"
I even checked today, and it's still in production.
Oh my!
They're making a tent.
I've sent so many emails and everything. Well, anyway,
The bottom
folks,
of the shirt, they're stitching it by them. They're not using machine. They're doing it themselves.
One thread a day. One thread a day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we never had this problem before. Like
No.
when I back in April, when with a bunch of the shirts that were going out, they received them within 10 days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this I got off of there too, and it maybe was 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. I had mine. But,
so I think they screwed up and they just
don't want to say it.
They don't want to say it.
Yeah.
They forgot about it.
Probably. So, and then the 27th, Caught in the Veil, spelled right, will be at Big
What an
Meadows.
ass. You know what? This is
paranormal
what
ass.
kills me about Matt. This is what kills me about Matt. He makes fun of you subtly, and you know he's making fun of you, but it's so nice when he does it.
That's the,
Smiles as
that's
he
the-
does it. Yeah,
that's the
he
Canadian.
smiles.
That's the Canadian side of me.
So we're going there now, eh?
Eh?
Yeah, there you go. I said it. Eh? I said it.
You know, Brian. Though at the end of the day, I'm sorry.
Oh, shut up. Good, move on. You know, he said at the end of the day in the video last night, he did that on purpose for me. Because I say at the end of the day a lot. And in the video that I did at the lift locks, I said it twice in the first like 3 minutes.
He didn't say it. I did.
Yeah, she said it first. She said it first, and I called her out.
I said it first.
And actually, just when he was at the lift lock too, and he said it the first like 2 minutes in, I sent him a private message. I said, "Wow, that only took you 2 minutes. I'm impressed." It's all for love. It's all for love.
Yeah.
But no, Caught in the Veil on the 27th, guys, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, Big Meadow Cemetery. I think, I'm not mistaken, is that the same place that we saw Minnesota Spirit Hunters that one time? Is that the same cemetery, Brian? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I think it is. I'm not sure. If Kyra and Brandon, let me know. If not, we'll see you on the 27th. And then the 27th, it's great to have, but it's also bad. Closing ceremonies at 9 p.m. You will see the admin staff will be up here hanging out, having some fun. And like you've seen throughout all of the Global Ghost Hunt, and you'll continue to see, we have a very, very big announcement coming up for the 2025 year. And I think Brian said it perfectly. It is really good news, but at the same time, it sucks. It's bad. It's good, but bad news. And that being said, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. And
It's more good than bad, though.
It really is. It really is.
Okay, I'm like, are you a glutton for punishment? I mean, what is it? You're like, it's really bad. I'm excited.
No, it's more good than bad.
No, it is really good. And I'm honestly excited because it's going to be really good for the event. It's going to be good for teams, locations. It's going to be good for everybody. And I'm really excited for it. And, you know, it's really going to be a great way to wrap up, in my opinion, a really great event. so far. We've had a lot of fun with this. We've had a lot of great investigations. We've seen some new locations. My bucket list personally has gotten that much longer again. But the one thing that I think Brian and myself we will attest to, and I know Abyss, you guys could probably as well. One thing I really love about the Global Ghost Hunt so far is how much growth every team has had. You do not, you see the same team, but you see growth each time you see them on the Global Ghost Hunt, and that to me is better than any piece of evidence, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm trying to get Jonathan Crossover Paranormal to start coming in and doing those hunts.
He is fantastic. Yes, John is the nicest guy I think I've ever seen in my life, and he deserves so much recognition. Honestly, he is such a good investigator.
Oh yeah.
If we can get it, maybe Matt, he'll remember Brian's name.
You know, I gave him, I still give him crap for that, but hello, I got a new mouse pad. I'm not showing that, but I will say the Wicked Queen and I did have a chance to investigate with him, and he's a really good investigator, really good. And I know he and Brian and I have spoke to this before. He just wants a really great location, and I was like, dude, you could just go out to the freaking bridge. I was like, you do a great job no matter what.
I told him I'd go out there with him. I wish he'd go to John Martin's too.
Yeah. But you know what? Maybe we could
not far from the bridge.
Maybe we could all meet up with him. We'll all just go. We'll all take a field trip.
He's got some stuff going on down there at the bridge, and I think he's hesitant. A little hesitant there.
You know, Glenda, he's in New York right now. You and I should take a field trip and be like, you know what? You're going to be on it. We're just going to do a GGH special.
Yeah. Let's just go. Come on.
But anyway, folks, so that's going to wrap it up for tonight. But I want to say thank you all very much for joining us so far in the Global Ghost Hunt and supporting. Please don't forget to go back, rewatch, share, like, all that great stuff, because it does really well. It does really well for the teams and locations, and that's what this is about, a big celebration. And yes.
Just one announcement on Halloween Day.
Yep.
We will be showing all the lives again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we might be doing something on Halloween Day. No, not Halloween Day. It's the following Saturday.
Yeah. Halloween Day, we will be showing all the videos. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I always like watching the recap. But anyway, before we take off, any shout outs you guys want to give? Abyss, you guys want to shout out anything out?
Well, go for it, Liz. You got this.
I'm like, do you want us to shout out? No, don't put it on me.
Whatever you want.
So, I mean, really, honestly, I would like to shout out to Haley. If that was her first investigation and the energy that she brings and everything, I am super proud of her. I'm super proud of the progress that she is making to even get out there and do this sort of thing. It's much different from being behind a microphone and getting out in front of the camera and being the spotlight. You know, she is, like I said earlier, she is such a freaking light that she just makes everybody feel absolutely seen and special. And I'm glad you guys brought her on the show. She's fantastic.
Yeah,
100%.
I think we've all the groups has done fantastic. What we've seen so far has been fantastic, and I don't expect any less for the rest of the time period.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's been fantastic. I think it's great.
100%.
Yeah.
Wicked Queen,
different, and it's just good.
Absolutely. Wicked Queen, anybody or anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
No.
She wants to shout out her bed. She wants to shout out her bed, folks. It's past her bedtime.
It's way past my bedtime.
Glenda, what about you?
I just want to thank all the teams. They are really enthusiastic about what they're doing. You can see their passion. And I just love all the locations. So
sounds good. Brian?
No, I'm all talked out.
Oh. Well,
see, he pulled a me.
Yeah, I'm all talked out. No, I will say this. I will say
go
this. I loved watching all the investigations. Keep doing your thing, even after the global ghost hunt's done. Keep on investigating. Keep doing what you love to do, and get ready for next year.
100%. And for me, I want to shout out people that we haven't said about tonight, and that's our Parapost family. You can catch Global Ghost Hunt on Parapost Network Central on Facebook. You can download the app, Parapost, easy, parapost.net, Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. Do it for free. Huge shout out to them because without Parapost, this wouldn't be possible. How you doing? And also, I want to give a huge shout out to the Global Ghost Hunt sponsor, Health Empowers You. Seriously, if you guys haven't heard of Health Empowers You, welcome. But go check out healthempowersyou.net for a healthy alternative for your drinking style, healthy drink style, not lifestyle. And you have smoothies, coffees, you got teas, you got a bunch of different things. You can also use the code HEY, HEY, 05 for a special discount. You'll love it and you will not regret it. I'm 100% serious. You will not regret it, guys. But a huge shout out to Health Empowers You for all the support they give for not just the Global Ghost Hunt, but all the paranormal community. And of course, our GGH admin staff. Without all of you guys' support, none of this would be possible. It would be a real big pain. But, and as everybody said, huge shout out to the teams that have investigated so far, and a huge shout out to the audience, you guys, for all the support you've done, not just for this event, but for all the events, and you continue to do. Share it, share, guys, not for the Global Ghost Hunt, but for these teams in these locations, because that is what we are here for, is to preserve the locations for the next generation and to help them. That's what we're here about. So thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow night for they got lost for New York Paranormal. Good morning. For New York Paranormal at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the Gates House Museum. And I guess that's all we got to say. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice.